Which food did you totally hate as kid until you figured out that your parents just couldn't cook it right? Pork chops. They were always overcooked and waterboarded in mushroom soup. Steak. Until I moved out and learned how to actually grill it from a neighbor, steak in my parents' house was shoe leather. Pork chops, had no clue they could be so juicy and delicious. As a kid, I knew them to be leather. I experienced kind of a multi-generational version of this. My younger brother developed an interest in cooking in his teens. He is a stickler for following the recipe to the letter, although he is nice enough to omit certain spices that are too much for me. I've enjoyed basically every meal he's prepared, even stuff I hated when I was a young child and he was a toddler. Grilled steak is one example. Chicken, boiled. Dear mother. Jambalaya. My mother, God rest her soul, was a wonderful cook in most respects, but jambalaya was not one of them. Rice boiled down to mush, stringy pieces of chicken, just no real flavor of any kind. I just thought that's what it was supposed to be until another relative made theirs, and my mind was blown. Weirdly enough, onions, my parents always made them cooked and mushy. I ate an Italian sub from a pizza shop with raw ones and I love them now. Steak. Mom was all about well done, so I imagined steak was always chewy and gristly. All of it? All of it. I'm currently using HelloFresh, and was amazed at how little effort can be put into making something delicious. How did my parents mess up food for so long? Hint, only canned vegetables ever, and always overcooked meat with minimal seasoning. Chili. My mom's was terrible. Vegetables. Parents always boiled them, which is the worst way to cook them. Chili. My mom's is basically vegetable and bean soup with chili spices and a tiny bit of ground beef. Steak. Turns out it's pretty delicious when not cooked gray and needing a gallon of fluids to compensate for the dryness. Brussels sprouts. Hate boiled, slimy ones. Love them roasted in the oven with a little oil and good seasonings. Meatloaf. I'm sure I emotionally scarred my mother, as she eventually gave up cooking altogether, particularly this dish, after years of my moaning and groaning about how horrible it was. Bacon. All my friends loved it and I just didn't get it. Then one day at a restaurant with some friends, I reluctantly ordered a side of bacon with my breakfast platter. Took one bite and my eyes lit up with shock. Hamburgers. No salt, seasoning, cooked to well done, half the time it wasn't even beef. I feel like most Americans will say this, but vegetables in general. It's a complete disservice to just steam or boil them and serve them on the side of a meal without any sauce. I grew up on a cattle farm. My parents always had a fridge/freezer full of the freshest steak imaginable. We ate steak every week.